I just spent like 8 days without going with any social media at all. All right, I was out on like a nice boat cruise trip type thing, and the internet sucked tremendous balls. So we weren't able to go online at any point, basically. And it made me come to the realization that I feel like many people are coming to the realization of now. The internet, the internet and social media in general are absolute mind viruses. And I don't mean this in like a way of like, oh, it just steals your attention, blah, blah, blah. But since coming back and since hopping back online, all right, last week my screen time was like 53 minutes on average. And this week it's already jumping up to like, 5 hours. And the main thing that I'm doing is just a loop of like, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. The whole reason why I'm on these platforms is partially because I feel like I'm getting informed from being on them. Like whenever I open up Twitter, I feel like I'm uncovering the matrix and like, discovering the real truths behind all realities. And I'm seeing like, all right, this is what's going on with the people who are in the AI field. I'm getting the tweets from Sam Altman, Ruin, all these people straight from the source. I'm seeing how they're thinking, and then I'm seeing, politics on Twitter as well. And I'm like, all right, so this is the state of the world, and I'm seeing what people are tapped into, what the outrage is, and I'm like, all right, I feel like I really have a grasp on reality. But the truth is that I don't have a grasp on reality at all. I'm just seeing things that are meant to like, outrage or just even like just cause my mind, the gears in my mind to start turning and start getting me just like incredibly addicted to just trying to find more information and more information. And it's completely useless. It has no bearing on my reality, my true life. And the thing that I was thinking about while I was out was like the things that really matter in my life and the things I see online on the internet have very little effect to what I decide to actually do with my own life. I feel like this age, this era of like technology and just progress in general in humanity, it's a lot more like mental, it's a lot more intellectual, it's a lot more abstract, and we're just kind of in the world of ideas right now. That's where we're at with things. And I feel like social media is a perfect encapsulation of that, because all of it is generally just centered around trying to just captivate our mind, trying to put things in front of us that stimulate the mind. And it has no effect on the physical reality of things, because the internet is not physical at all. All of these digital things, these exist entirely in just, like electrical signals and stuff like that. Like it's nothing that is real. It's just a bunch of ones and zeros. That's all this data, this information is. So being away from that online medium, from this world that is almost like just entirely fake and made up, and then just sitting in reality for like a week plus nonstop, it makes you realize like how many things in reality are just slowly kind of going to shit, because the only thing that people care about, or the only thing that people think is real, are things that are online, things that are just designed to capture attention, things that are designed to generate some sort of like, not even outrage, but just some strong emotion. It's just meant to evoke a strong emotion within you. It's not even meant to be intellectually stimulating that much, really, when you think about it. Like, on the boat, someone had brought a couple articles that had really interesting, like, pieces by, like, philosophers or people that are in some scientific field. And, like, online social media, it's not even like that, because, even if now, like, a tweet is, like, on average, like, 500 characters, how much information can you truly express in 500 characters? And how much does that information actually stick or carry any meaning when you just immediately scroll past it and you just consume something else, some other 500 character maxim that's supposed to like be some super insightful, tantalizing thing? The value that you get from social media is like distilled over the course of like a month. I feel like when I'm like on Instagram or Twitter for a month straight, then I take away like one cool idea maybe from like something I saw on it. And that moment where I take away like one cool idea, that makes me be like, okay, well, I can't write off these things wholesale. I can't totally get off of like Instagram or Twitter or anything, because it is genuinely giving me something that is cool. Like it just gave me like a cool David Lynch clip where I'm like, oh yeah, I really need to do that, or a cool Kanye West quote where I'm like, oh yeah, man, this will really push me in this direction. But when I think about it, if I just like purposefully just looked out for those things in a more like purposeful and engaging way, like I'm more actually engaged with it rather than just passively consuming that content, then it would mean so much more. Like if I actually looked out for like a David Lynch interview and like found like a clip or like a, you know, some sort of like excerpt, and then I read that, and then that's all I had, I'd probably take away so much more from that because I can actually like, you know, quote unquote pontificate on whatever he's saying, and I can actually think deeply through it. But the problem is that now that social media is so prevalent, there's no way to just get that information on its own without all of the other just literally cancerous things that come from it. Like, you can't just go online and be like, I just want to search up this one very specific thing. Instead, you just kind of have to like go online. You have to like step into the world of algorithmic content, and you kind of just have to like explore aimlessly for like, you know, half an hour until you eventually get something that's kind of what you were thinking of, but not entirely what you were thinking of, right? You're like being curated by an algorithm, literally. That's what it is. So you can't really curate any of your own thoughts. And so it really doesn't allow you to use the internet for what it should be for, which is like stimulating mentally, just generating useful thoughts and ideas. You can't use it for that because you can't use it with any sort of intention. So the one thing that the internet is supposed to be useful for, which is like the non-reality, the abstract, the intangible, it's not even useful for that. So what do? Well, I think the thing that you can do now, and what I'll probably try to do moving forward, is just ignore all of the noise of social media. At some point, listen, at some point you've gained enough information to where you don't need to take in any more information anymore. All right, just let some thoughts percolate in your mind for a bit. All right, and then just go off of that. There's a Togi saying that I kind of remember is like when he started doing videos, he stopped watching all social media content because he just wanted his own ideas to come through. He wanted to do his own thing and make sure that his expression was as genuine as possible. And so I think that's something that you need to do as well. You know, even if you're not trying to do something on the internet, let's say you're trying to do something more in reality, then this holds even more true. Because anything that you can do online, on the internet, on social media, it's not going to have any impact on reality at all. Or online things, they do have an impact on reality, but no, it doesn't. I don't know. What am I trying to say? Yeah, I don't know. I guess summary of the video, just don't aimlessly just be online all the time. It really doesn't have the value that you think it does. And even if you think it's giving you some value because you're like, oh, I got this cool idea because I was, you know, I saw this reel, or I saw this TikTok, or I saw this post on Twitter, you know, and you know I bookmarked it or whatever. It's not going to hold that same staying power. It's not going to stay in your brain because nothing that is that fleeting, even if you bookmark it, you're not going to look back on it, and it's not going to make a real impression on your mind. Just stick to things that are more long form. Stick to things that you try to curate yourself. And ultimately, the most important thing is stick to reality. You know, just look around you. Try to exist in the physical world some more. Don't exist in the online world, because that really, it's not a place, all right? It's just a bunch of feelings and emotions and ideas that are up to the whim of some algorithmic curator. And that's not the world that we want to be in. At least that's not the world that I want to be in. So, yeah. Detach from it now. Be more real. Be more in person. And do things that are in the real world, not online, probably. Which means that and this is all a video to say that I'm deleting my channel, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Swagtower out.